Story, our weekly political magazine. This week I travelled to Madhya Pradesh to catch a glimpse of some of the election flavour that is gripping the state. I began with Raghavgarh, where Digvijay Singh's son, Jaywardhan Singh, is contesting. After all, what is Indian politics without dynasty? In fact, as the guide at Jai Vilas Palace Museum in Gwalior told me, carpets Persian, tiles Italian, but dynasty Indian. Hello, good morning, Jaywardhan. Welcome to News X.
Hi, thank you.
Had you put a twist to the old saying, every man's home is his castle?
Well, this is my home, and it also happens to be the constituency from where I'm fighting the election this time.
But why did you, that's my question, why are you so keen to fight the elections? What was your father's reaction when you said, I want to fight?
Well, firstly, it's a big challenge. If you go about the constituency, the Congress has been in power as far as in the Vidhan Sabha since 1977, and when my father fought his first election. And up until now, a lot has been done in this area, especially in terms of, the factory which have come up here, as well as the work in irrigation. And somewhere I feel that, the future of this area, we have to do a lot more, because there's no limit to development.
So what will you do differently? What are you bringing to the table over here?
Well, of course, firstly, as of now, I'm just occupied with elections. I'm the Congress candidate from...
Okay, let's assume you'll win.
With God's blessings, if that happens, then the real challenge starts. Today, from what I've learned before, and from what I'm planning to do, is to actually get backing from the UN, the World Bank. Of course, you have your MLA fund and the government of India is always there. But also to actually try and get some universities on board, get some more development, consultancy teams, to actually look at some micro-level projects, maybe in one village or in a group of 10 villages, to really see what works.
You're 27 years old, right?
Right.
And your father, you say, has been here from 77. So that's as old as you are. I think 27 years he's been... he's been...
that's 36 years.
Oh, that's 36, my maths. But anyway, well, more than half your age. So what will you hope to achieve that he hasn't in all these years?
As I said before, there's no limit to development. And the context which was there in 77 is very different from what it was today.
Okay, a bit about your father. He's a very well-known figure. He's been praised by the press. He's also been vilified by the press. How do you react when he gets negative publicity, or when, he gets into a slanging match with the RSS? How do you feel about that?
I feel proud, because if you look at his statements, and if you really notice what he says, it's all based on facts, and all which he says is more or less in some way or the other proved true through. Really notice what he says. It's all based on facts, and all which he says is more or less in some way or the other proved true through different mediums. So I feel proud when the opposition attacks him, because as far as the opposition is concerned, they will only attack people who they are insecure of.
Something you're Jaywardhan, but you have to call you JV. What is it your generation? Rahul Gandhi's RG. We don't call Digvijay Singh DV. So
no, people call him Diggy. so
Before you became, actually actively involved in politics, what was your life like? What were you doing? Where were you working?
I was, of course, in New York doing my masters for 2 years. But even while I was doing my masters, I used to come back during the vacation, and I'd done 2 Padyatras during that time. When each Padyatra, I did 2 Padyatras each for a week. And I covered a distance in each of the Padyatras of, I would say, 120 kilometers in each Padyatra on foot.
We then hit the campaign trail with Jaywardhan Singh, or JV, who who seems to have taken over his father's constituency with a certain amount of ease and panache. But though this is an area always votes Congress, he is making sure that this time the vote is cast for Jayawardhan Singh and not Digvijay Singh.
क्योंकि मैंने क्षेत्र में सीखा है, आज साफा बांधना किसने सिखाया? आप सबने सिखाया। राजा साहब ने नहीं सिखाया, आप सब ने सिखाया। जो हमारा संबंध है ये सालों का नहीं, पीढ़ियों का है। और जो हम सबका रिश्ता ज्यादा है, एक राजनीतिक रिश्ता नहीं, पारिवारिक संबंध है।
आप ये जयवर्धन जी को वोट क्यों दे? क्योंकि वो दिग्विजय जी के बेटे हैं या क्योंकि कांग्रेस के हैं? क्या लगाव है इनके साथ?
देखिए, ये आदरणीय बड़े राज साहब के लड़के हैं, ये बात सही है बिल्कुल। और उनको वोट देने का कारण सिर्फ ये नहीं है, यहाँ के क्षेत्र के लोगों ने उन्हें कसौटी पे कसता हुआ देखा। जब उन्होंने सैकड़ों किलोमीटर की पदयात्रा की, वो विदेश में पढ़े, मुंबई पढ़े, नौकरी छोड़ी, यहाँ समाज सेवा का उन्होंने दायित्व लिया।
As we move on to the next destination, Jayawardhan pointed out all the development landmarks undertaken by his dad. When his enthusiastic cavalcade got in the mood and blared his campaign song at top volume, he however quickly asked them to turn it down.
You know, we are in a working neighborhood. It's around, I would say it's nearly 10 a.m. So it's a working time, so I don't want to disturb the people at home, you know what I mean? Okay, when you're outside, when you're really out there in the village where people are waiting for you to come, there it's okay to do this, but not, you can't disturb private life.
So Jayawardhan, we are here in Gram Akodhya, which is say about 20 kilometers away from the Killa. What are the big issues here and what is it that you can do for them? What is the first thing that you will do once you are elected?
The biggest demand in the village of Akodhya is of a road which connects them right to the municipality Raogarh. So they've been requesting it for a long time, and what really happens is that when the monsoons come, the entire village gets totally disconnected from the entire, from where the schools are, where the places for employment are. Yes, especially in the interiors of the constituency.
But tell me something, your ticket here, I mean, a lot of it is because you are Digvijay Singh's son. You know, we have this whole dynasty versus democracy argument. So how do you justify the fact that you got the ticket and not the Congress candidate, just because you're his son?
Well, it's a fair point that, of course, I do have a certain advantage because I am a Congress leader's son, but I have to also just to note that this time the Congress was very strict with the selection committee and the screening committee, and all the names that went were from the block Congress. And of course, I would like to make another point that I did work here for the last 4 years, and when the names went, my name was a single name in the entire block.
Okay, what is it, your father is a congressman leader, he's been also chief minister for 10 years. What is it that the most important lesson you've learned from him and the important lesson you've learned not to do from him?
I think the most important lesson that I've learned from him is the fact that he's really worked from the lowest level and gone up to the as a chief minister. And I think that's my biggest lesson as well, is how to really work with the people here. You know, what affects a common man in a village. You know, he doesn't care about what's happening in Delhi or Bombay. He cares about the Patwari, he cares about the Tehsildar. He wants his, land to be safe. So these are the things which I've learned.
And what have you learned not to do?
Well, that's a good question. I think so far all that I've learned from him is only what I should be doing and not
Let me tell you what you've learned from him not to do. Not to come on Twitter. You're not on Twitter, are you?
No, I am on Twitter, but I'm not active on Twitter.
You're not taking the RSS on Twitter.
You know, the thing is, I guess people in India want to know what Digvijay Singh says. I think I'm still, based out of my Raogarh constituency, and once if I feel it's the right time to, go more public on Twitter, I definitely will. But right now, I'm happy to really just work with the people of this constituency and to really see that if I do communicate with someone, I communicate with them.
In person, the old style.
In person, the old style.
Interesting.
The old
Second
style.
generation is doing it the old style.
You have to,
Your father is a keen photographer. Are you into that?
Photography, yes. In fact, whenever we do get time, there are some very nice national parks in Madhya Pradesh, so we do visit them very frequently. But other than that, yes, it's just spending time with the family and traveling somewhere.
Any plans of getting married?
Not anytime soon, of course, people do ask me that question. People ask me a question in the villages as well, okay, when you're getting married, aapki shaadi kab ho rahi hai? But I always tell them that, right now I want to commit all my time to Raghugarh and the people here, and marriage can wait for some time at least.
Well, thank you much for talking to NewsX. We wish you all the best in your campaign, and we are going to keep track of you in the future.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Well, that was Jayawardhan Singh. We followed his campaign. Now we're going to go and track down another dynasty, this time the Scindias. We're going to go to Gwalior and catch up with what Jyotiraditya Scindia is doing. And also from the BJP, his aunt Yashoraja Scindia. Keep watching. We are here in Gwalior, which is actually the seat of the Scindia Empire. Jyotiraditya Scindia, as you know, has been announced as the face of the Congress campaign to take on the popular Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Scindia's followers, however, claim that since the announcement was made only a month ago, it's too late for him to do anything radical about the party. There is so much infighting within the Congress. However, there is also a conspiracy theory which argues that Scindia is actually being set up for a fall. Whatever the reasons, it was here in Gwalior that Scindia first stopped soon after the Congress announced his candidate selection. He came and addressed a rally for his followers. We'll take a look at what all he did that day. We are now at a Jyotiraditya Scindia rally in the heart of Gwalior town. The dais is set for him. On stage there is, however, only one chair for the Maharaj, while the rest of the local leadership are sitting on the floor of the stage. But see what Jyotiraditya did when he reached the venue. He took one look at the arrangement and immediately ordered them to remove the chair and sat down on the floor along with the rest, all with a wink and a smile.
हमारे जीवन का लक्ष्य बनना चाहिए जनसेवा, राजनीति केवल एक माध्यम होनी चाहिए उस लक्ष्य की पूर्ति करने के लिए.
After a political event, it was now time for an age-old family tradition for Jyotiraditya.
प्रथा है सांप्रदायिक सद्भाव की, प्रथा है धर्मनिरपेक्षता की. ग्वालियर में जब पहला ताजिया रखा जाता है, वो गोरखी प्रांगण हमारे पारंपरिक मंदिर में ही रखा जाता है, और वही एक सोच विचारधारा केवल मानसिक और मस्तिष्क के रूप में नहीं, लेकिन एक जीवन में वो सोच विचारधारा उत्पन्न करने की एक परंपरा सिंधिया परिवार की सदैव रही.
After addressing a rally for the local candidate, Jyotiraditya Scindia came here. This is the Devghar here on my right, which is the Scindia family temple. And in front of me is the Tazia, which is also according to the Islamic tradition. The Scindia family has been holding a Sehra Bandi over here ever since 1805, which is actually at the beginning of the new year, so the Islamic New Year, which is why Jyotiraditya Scindia came here. He went to the family temple and then he came over here. After that, when we asked him, to take some political questions, he says no, when he's coming here for a religious purpose, he doesn't want to talk about politics. Clearly, he doesn't want to mix religion with politics. Although the sun had set, the day was not over, either for Jyotiraditya or for me. He had 3.5 hours of meetings still to go through, and I still hadn't got my interview. So I chased him back to his office at the Jai Vilas Palace. Mr. Scindia, you've been made in charge of the Congress campaign, but is it too little too late? Because you have barely a month ago you were made. You don't have enough time.
It's never too little too late. You always have to work on the mandate that has been given to you, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm very confident that this time around you will see a turn around in Madhya Pradesh.
But do you see how much of value for you is the Congress party and how much is the Scindia name? Because there is a huge goodwill for your name. You think is that also going to help?
I think it's not the goodwill of an individual, it's the goodwill of an organization, it's the goodwill of the party's program, and it's the goodwill of every single worker. And my, for the lack of a better word, my bhumika in this campaign is that of a party worker.
But I think Shivraj Singh Chauhan is giving a lot of value to the Scindia name. He's asked 2 MPs who are relatives to Scindia name to contest the Vidhan Sabha election because he's hoping they'll cash in on your name.
No, every party has a right to do its own agenda. Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us. Now let's go to the land of the other Scindias and also the other political party. the Scindia influence extends mostly in the Madhya Bharat region, which is Gwalior, Guna, Bhind and Shivpuri. This area sends as many as 34 MLAs to the state, of which only 12 are from the Congress, while the BJP has a lion's share of 21. The Congress is perhaps hoping to reverse this trend by projecting Jyotiraditya Scindia as its chief ministerial nominee. Equally, the BJP is also trying to cash in on the Scindia name by asking 2 MPs from this family to give up their MP seat and contest the MLA election. One is Jyotiraditya Scindia's aunt, Yashodhara Raje Scindia, who is also Madhavrao Scindia's sister. The other is Maya Singh, who is also Jyotiraditya Scindia's maternal aunt. We are here in Shivpuri, from where Yashodhara Raje Scindia will be contesting. Situated about 114 kilometers away from Gwalior, Shivpuri is being promoted as a tourist hub with its lake and wildlife sanctuary. In fact, while she was tourism minister in an earlier stint, it was Yashodhara Raje Scindia who promoted this area as a tourist resort. But before you think of jumping into the lake, a word of caution. There are crocodiles here. It's not too different from the world of politics, is it? Anyway, let's now go and take a look at Yashodhara Raje's campaign.
नाम का भी प्रभाव है, बराबर है, ऐसा नहीं है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी तो है ही, बाकी सिंधिया जी का राजमाता साहब से मैं बहुत पहले मिला हूँ।
सिंधिया नाम प्रभावित है यहाँ पर ज्यादा।
ग्वालियर में भी सिंधिया नाम है?
हाँ, उनका प्रभाव है, वो विकास के काम करवाते हैं, बड़े बड़े काम करवाते हैं, सिंधिया नाम पे ही वोट देते हैं।
Why are you contesting? You're already an MP from this area. Why are you contesting the MLA seat?
Actually, I'm not an MP even from this area. I'm in the neighbouring constituency of Gwalior. I think the Chief Minister was very keen that I fight this seat because the family, my mother, my brother, we all had a lot of influence in this area. An influence for doing a lot of good work in this area. I think the Chief Minister is well within his rights to decide on who he wants to fight which seat and which MPs he wants to fight, because I'm not the only MP that is fighting an MLA seat. There are a few more that have been asked to step down from their parliamentary seats and fight the MLA seat.
This is being seen as a sign of desperation by Shivraj Singh Chauhan, that he's scared that he may not win the seat, so he wants people who can assure him of seats, people like you to fight, MPs like you.
I don't think the word desperation could possibly be used here, because if you go into the Gaon and you don't even ask about MLAs, but you ask the name Shivraj Singh Chauhan, he is recognized the length and breadth of Madhya Pradesh. So I don't think there is any desperation on his part, but I think it is a move of an experienced Shasak, of an experienced administrator, that he feels that he can't be everywhere 24/7. Therefore, he feels that if there's one person there who could possibly be influencing a certain number of seats or helping win a certain number of seats, then wouldn't that be better?
But isn't he counting on you not just for Shivpuri but the entire Madhya Bharat area? You're going to be, because of the Scindia name.
No, but why not? What is wrong in that? He is a very efficient administrator. He's also a very paripak, what we call, an experienced politician now. So is there anything wrong in that?
And how much of the Scindia name is influenced by this? You know, over here, do you think people vote for you because of your BJP or because of the legacy that you bring with you?
I think very much there's, you're forgetting that we now have very good chief ministers pan-India. And this started with Narendra Bhai Modi, because it was he who led that progressive chief minister brigade, as we call it. And he led the way pan-India. And this started with Narendra Bhai Modi, because it was he who led that progressive chief minister brigade, as we call it, and he led the way. And once I think the chief ministers realized that this is the way to go forward. We talk about Shivraj Singh in that context, or we talk about Vasundhara Raje in that context, we talk about Dr. Raman Singh, Chhattisgarh, in that context. So these are all chief ministers that have assumed their name by their sheer work. So in the same way, when you talk about my family legacy, some people tend to say that it is a legacy of a dynasty, but it is not. It is sheer hard work, Priya. we work 24/7 when we are in the constituency, and we work not to make sure that some of our favorites come forward or whatever. It's a cross section of people that we work for. Once the elections are over, there is no party line. We are working for the people, and so anybody who does that will have an influence. Let anybody else try it and they'll see that they will have influence.
So how much is the, you said it's not a dynasty, but there is a fiefdom. How much, because people here call you Maharaj, how much does that influence?
I think Maharaj comes out of respect. The word Shrimant actually comes out of respect. Why? When you have a sanskar that is an India-centric sanskar, then you always have your elders. Don't you have a mami or a mama? I mean, for instance, I have my mami ji who is fighting the Lashkar Purv. She's not fighting because she's a part of the Scindia family or related to the Scindia family. She's fighting because she's now everybody's mami ji. You know, so isn't that a form of respect?
And finally, you know, your mother's from the BJP, your brother's from the Congress. Did you have a dilemma as to which party to join?
Never. Never. Not once. We were born and brought up as Jansanghis. Born and brought up as Jansanghis and then the Bharatiya Janata Party. So there was never a dilemma.
There's a Scindia chief ministerial candidate in Rajasthan. Why not Madhya Pradesh?
There's already a chief minister in Madhya Pradesh. Why would there be another candidate?
Tell me something, this busy campaign, how much, you know, you start in the morning, you end in the evening, and yet you're so well dressed, I would say. Don't you have any campaign gear, or is this it? Or?
No, but do you need to look drab and tired in front of your voters? I don't think they'll be happy to vote for somebody who looks exhausted, drab and tired. So you have to look, I mean, it's a part and parcel of the whole election campaign. You know, you have to look up, you have to look energetic, energized.
And elegant.
and elegant. Well, I'm a woman, so I don't want to certainly look like I've just been picked out of the garbage. So, no, I think I have been only given 13 days in which to put this campaign together, because I was and always was a parliament member for the last 7 years. I haven't come back to this constituency in 7 years. So it's a very uphill task. Nothing can be taken for granted.
Yashodhara Raje is not the only Scindia contesting from the BJP. There is also Maya Singh, universally known as Mami Ji, who is trying her luck and lineage from Gwalior South.
राज्यसभा में मुझे काफ़ी लंबा समय हुआ है और अब मेरे पार्टी ने जो निर्णय किया है कि मुझे यहाँ असेंबली का चुनाव लड़ना है, और मुझे खुशी है इस बात की कि वो भी एक्सपीरियंस मैंने लेके देखा है, क्योंकि और यहाँ पर मुझे मेरे ही गृह नगर में वाली विधानसभा से चुनाव में लड़ रही हूँ और वहाँ के लोगों के लिए काम करने का मौका मिलेगा।
After Digvijay and Scindias, let's now take a look at another dynasty and talk to Anup Mishra, who is Vajpayee's nephew and a sitting state minister. ये बताइए कि अगर जीतेंगे बीजेपी तो किसके पास रह जाएगा, शिवराज सिंह चौहान पे या नरेंद्र मोदी पे?
अगर हम जीतेंगे तो दोनों का श्रेय जाएगा।
आपका श्रेय नहीं होगा?
मैं तो उनका प्रतीक हूँ और इनका प्रतिनिधि बनने जा रहा हूँ। मेरी जवाबदारी है कि इनकी सुख सुविधा का ख्याल रखूं, लोक सेवक।
Now we are going to move on and get some voices of the public, because after all, they are the ones who really have the deciding factor as to what is the mood in this area of Madhya Pradesh.
नाम मात्र के लिए सुधार हुआ है, बाकी सब कुछ वैसे वैसा है। दबंग आज भी हमें परेशान करे हुए हैं, थाने में हमारी रिपोर्ट तक नहीं लिखी जाती, और नेता जो है वो सिर्फ पैसे वालों की सुनते हैं।
बिना लाइट के हम टीवी देखते हैं वो मोबाइल में, इसीलिए हमारे यहाँ बिजली नहीं आती है, कभी काट लेते हैं, इसीलिए हम क्या करें, हम किसी से कह नहीं पाते हैं।
मोदी और शिवराज हमें दोनों केंद्र में भी चाहिए और हमारे यहाँ पे भी बीजेपी सरकार होनी चाहिए। हालांकि हमारे कांग्रेस में यहाँ पे कुछ सुधार नहीं होता कांग्रेस में।
In Madhya Pradesh, the war is not just between two political parties, but also between different legacies and political dynasties. What's ironical is that despite the democratic exercise, it is the feudal element that is dominant in these elections. That was dynasty in Madhya Pradesh. Now moving on to another state, Rajasthan, we take a look at another royal, another dynast, in fact, another Scindia import. My colleague Vishal Baristo caught up with Vasundhara Raje Scindia, who is giving a challenge to the sitting Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot.
Ma'am, the opinion polls have been shot in the arm for the BJP. Your reactions?
Listen, we don't get very much time to look at opinion polls. Our job is to go into the field, reach as many people as we can, talk to as many people as we can, and work for the elections. I've been in the field now for 9 months and been worked very, very hard. I've seen how the people feel, what the people feel, and how they're going to respond in the time to come. And I think the results are going to be quite surprising for lots of people.
Ashok Gehlot believes that he is going to win 150 seats because his social security schemes have been very successful and free medicine is going to be his USP. Your reactions?
What can I say? He's welcome to his opinion.
Ma'am, you have released a black paper of corruption against Ashok Gehlot. Do you think that when you come to power, you will take action against the alleged corrupt deals that Ashok Gehlot and his family have been going through?
Let's not jump the gun. Let's finish with the elections first. What we're going to do after that depends on what the results are. We'll take care of it at the time.
Ma'am, the royals have been very lucky for you. Last time it was Bikaner and Karoli, and this time Diya Kumari from Jaipur. So you yourself being a royal, so they have been very successful as far as the BJP is concerned. So what do you have to say?
Let's not go into royals and others. Everybody is is just another ordinary human, and particularly in elections, it's a great leveler. Everybody is there because they are people who have been appreciated by the people of that area and who we feel can do well. And like all the others, they are part of the 200.
Diya Kumari is a first timer like Bikaner and Karoli, so how confident are you?
I'm sure she's working very hard, and the people are interested in changing this government. So I look forward to a good result.
Now, ma'am, another question. If in case your nephew come and seeks your blessings, would you give your blessing to him?
This is a family matter. It's got nothing to do with anyone else.
Well, that was a look at dynasty in democracy. But now, the votes are cast, the ballot is sealed, and we'll soon know the fate of the dynasts sometime pretty soon. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching Cover Story and see you soon next week.